What is going on, everybody? Here for week 4 of the NFL season. The Dolphins losing another game last week, 0-3 to start the season. I have Jacoby with me here as always. Jacoby, how's it going, man? 0-3 start.
0-3 start, man. Definitely not what we thought going in, but as the season has been starting along, it's not surprising, and I'm ready to recap it. It was an interesting game, and I'm looking forward to this week for sure.
Interesting game for sure, man. The Dolphins look like they might, have a chance to pull off the victory in Buffalo. Finally played a nice, competitive game against Buffalo. Looked like Mike McDaniel made a lot of the great decisions, but I mean, overall, we got the L, man. But how do you feel about specifically their performance in Buffalo?
It's, they tend to do this against Buffalo the last few years. I mean, I was expecting a huge blowout, so I'm going to give them the credit they deserve. They came in, ready to work. They scored on that opening drive, but they do this against Buffalo. They go there, they play them tough, they get us into the game, and it comes down to a heartbreaking ending. Two years in a row where they go to Buffalo in the driver's seat to win that game, and they lose in the most heartbreaking way possible, man. So it was a roller coaster, but like I said, man, they played hard. They came out firing. So I'm going to give them credit where they deserve, but it was just so frustrating, man. Just so frustrating.
Yeah, and it's crazy because obviously we're talking about moral victories here, and moral victories. I mean, it sucks that we're to a point where we're like, yeah, they fought hard and they played good. Here's some credit. I mean, it sucks, but it's true. I mean, they did play a better football game. They put themselves in position to win the football game, I thought. And at the end of the day, you just didn't make enough plays. And honestly, I already had a feeling like there's no way we're going to actually do this. I was just waiting for, all right, how are we going to lose this game? Do I like the way the plays are being called? Do I like what they're doing? Yes, absolutely. But when is the heartbreak going to come? And then it comes at the hands of Tua with an interception.
I like that you say that. I was watching the game with my girlfriend, and I'm just like, they do this to me. They're gonna reel me in, and they're gonna lose it. I'm like, I know what's coming. Like, so I was just saying stuff like that, and it was exactly what I predicted. And just what sucks is it was from the veterans. It was from the leaders. Zach Sealer with the horrible roughing the kicker call. And the Tua interception, man, momentum killers, man. And that is just what sealed the deal for Miami. As soon as the roughing the kicker call happened, I was like, that's it. Like, you just took away all the momentum you had, and it's going to be hard to recover. And sure enough, Buffalo scored on that same drive.
It sucks because that was such a bigger play than just the play. Like you mentioned momentum. I thought that was a huge opportunity there. Like you just scored a touchdown. Your defense finally got a freaking stop, and they couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean, throughout that game, they're giving you the ball back in the fourth quarter with about 10 minutes left. Could you imagine just feeding off that momentum, going to score a touchdown? Now you're playing with a lead with a defense that just had a stop. So they're already feeling themselves. And just like that, it swung the entire game. And ultimately, I thought that was the reason why we lost. And it sucks that it comes from, your two captains on both sides of the football, most important captains on paper, Tua and Zach Sealer. And it's unfortunate. I thought that was inexcusable. And honestly, speaking about Zach Sealer, I mean, I feel like he's kind of been non-existent throughout these games. Would you agree?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't too sure about the extension when it happened before, but he has been one of those most consistent Dolphins in the past couple of years, and it just hasn't been a factor at all. Now, is other things factoring in? Is this the scheme not there, or is he truly been regressing? Who knows? But you're the captain of that defense. You're the heart and soul of that defense, especially a defense that's lost a lot of the players you've had the last couple of years. You got to step up. You got to control the reins down there, man. So it was pretty disappointing. And then on top of that, he makes probably the game losing play. So that was the most frustrating part of it all. So Sealer's got a lot to bounce back at right now, because he's definitely not the most loved out of the fan base right now.
Dude, definitely. And I don't know if it's like he's taking on double teams here and there, but regardless, I mean, you're paying him enough money now and to go out there and hear your name be called, and not for the wrong reasons. Like the first time I hear your name called all year is that you're, roughing the punter or whatever the call was. It's just, absolutely ridiculous, man. But let's talk about the other captain, man. Tua, another pick. And it's not just the interceptions, it's the moment at which he's having the interceptions that really piss me off. It's game winning drives, opportunities are right there, and you're literally just choking, bro. And Tua's regression is something to have a conversation about. Forget about the play and being out on him and wanting something different. But talk about from regression, a guy who led the league in passing yards just a few years ago, who was known to be an efficient quarterback that has great accuracy, anticipation, showed some flashes throwing deep balls to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And now I like, what the hell is going on here?
It's hard to not think it's the hip injury from last year as well. You know, there was not a lot of details about that injury, and you know, it kept him out the remainder of the whole season. So it's hard to think that that's not having an effect on him, or that he's trying to avoid as much hits as possible. I mean, he had a clean pocket and he was running away from nothing as soon as the pass rush turned up the notch a little bit. So I mean, you want to talk about regression. I feel like you'd be a fool to not think that hip injury has anything to do with it from last year, because of the little information we got about it and how much Miami and the front office were hiding it and not really elaborating on the severity of it, and just ruling him out the rest of the season in the midst of a playoff race. So it's I'm pretty certain that is the main thing about it. I think it was a pretty severe injury that's not only limiting his capability and his strength, but making him avoid a lot of different pressures on the football field. So it's unfortunate, but you knew the risk going in to paying him. So I mean, it's tough to feel bad for Miami at that point.
Yeah, it's like I can't feel bad for you at all. And I didn't even think about that hip injury. That was the game against Houston, I believe, right?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
It hasn't looked the same since.
Yeah.
Even after the concussion last year, he was looking a little regress. He was looking like that he was regressing already, but it's hard. Miami plays a lot of games with injuries. They don't talk about it. They don't elaborate on it. They lead you to think everything's okay when it's not. So for me, it's just, I feel like it was a pretty severe injury that's not only hindering his performance, but making him very hesitant on any type of pressure. That's why he's, getting rid of the ball as fast as he can before anything hits his way. And he's running away from pretty much nothing. So, I mean, I think that's just the nail on the head there about what's going on with Tua, but doesn't excuse his poor play. I mean, you're still a top 10 quarterback in terms of being paid. So you better step up and be the man they're paying you to be. So that's the most frustrating part.
Yeah. And then also, to top that off is the fact that he just doesn't even take accountability when clearly
Absolutely
this guy's blowing games left and right. Like, you're the quarterback, you're the leader, and you're talking about just excuses. And it's like, dude. And then the fan base, some of them make the excuses too, like, oh, the offensive line. To be honest, the offensive line, I think, has done pretty damn solid for what we are, to be honest.
The first game was a little shaky, but I think they've been solid the next two games.
Exactly. And let's just face it. Let's call it for what it is. Like, what team out there in the NFL is playing with a dominant offensive line? Like, look at Lamar Jackson. He's running for his life. He still makes plays. Patrick Mahomes, even though he's struggling, he makes plays. Like, you have to just get the freaking job done regardless, bro. Like, it's like, I'm so over this Tua stuff, man. It's just way too much. It's been way too much for years. And, I've been here defending Tua, like, just making the excuses along with the fans, maybe he needs this, but it's like, bro, like, at the end of the day, we have to have too much. It's way too much accommodation for you to be your best self. It's not worth the money. Like, at the end of the day, your total cost is not just to his contract. You got to pay for a perfect line. You got to pay for perfect weapons. Now you have to overpay for a backup in case you get concussed. It's like, bro, like, the whole investment, it's not just paying Tua. There's so much more around them. And I want a guy here that's just going to have some fucking balls and deliver in the freaking moments and can just give me hope. And Tua, honestly, like, I've lost all hope on Tua, bro. How about you?
I mean, I've lost hope on him since last year. I mean, I've been ever since the collapse of 2023. I said to you at the end of that season, I'm like, I think that was your window. That was as big as your window is going to get, and it's going to shut now. And I told you, I'm like, like when it got tough, when they lost Connor Williams, like I hate to bring up 2 years ago, but like they lost Connor Williams. They dropped that game to Tennessee. The adversity was at an all-time high. I'm like, this is your chance to step up and be the game changer and be the man that the fan base thinks you are. And he fumbled the opportunity. He goes to Kansas City and completely lays an egg after, being a top 5 quarterback in terms of statistics that entire year. So I've been pretty much checked out on him since the end of 2023. I was like, let him play on the 5th-year option. I'm not paying him yet. You still haven't done anything with him. And sure enough, 2024 was a disaster. And now we're here. This organization has to pick a direction pretty soon. And it's disappointing. It really is. But yeah, if you want I've been checked out on him for a while, man. And that. So that's where I sit.
So we got a question here. So are you in on tanking for Garrett, the kid out of LSU quarterback?
I mean, right now I just want to tank at all. Like just get a top 3 pick and rebuild this whole thing. Get the entire front office out, get a competent general manager, get a competent head coach, and let's go. Like I'm ready to just start this thing over, man. Because like for me, man, it's not about being like a lot of fans are like, hey, as long as we're making playoffs, that's fine. But me, I'm about the bigger picture, dude. I want to build a sustaining product on the football field and build towards the championship. I'm not just about going to the wild card every year and getting your ass kicked,
Yeah, man.
So, that's the kind of fan I've been my whole life. So it's like at this point right now, I'm like, you just need to focus on building to the next couple of years. In my opinion, this core is more than used out. And you just got to pick that direction, but it's all up to Ross. He has to pull the cord on this regime and start fresh. And quite frankly, with the reports that we've been hearing, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, to be honest, me too.
It sounds like he's dead loyal to Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer, and as long as that's going to happen, we might be at a standstill.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I'm at the point where, and Zell, to your comment, it's not even, do I want to tank? I mean, yeah, at this point, you're 0-3. What are we doing? We're not going to get to the playoffs. So what's the point of going 8-9, which is probably what we're going to end up being, and drafting at the middle of the pack? But if we do end up getting with a top pick, I'm at a point where I don't even trust my GM to select the quarterback, which is just ridiculous. I personally am not a fan of Garrett. I like Fernando Mendoza if I had to pick, but at the end of the day, these guys, they're hit or miss at the end of the day. You just got to hope to strike gold with one of them. And I just don't have the confidence in my team, but I wish, like Jacoby said, we would do this straight rebuild. Like, listen, this core, you had your chance, you lost. Take your L, strip it down. Let's do things the right way. Let's build something that we can have a sustained organization competing for multiple championships. And that starts by wiping it all clean, starting all over again, draft well, retain the guys that are good draft picks. So pay your own guys to keep going. Like, stop getting greedy, taking on other people's like projects and all this stuff. Like, no, draft well, retain your own guys, and build some like stability here for a couple years. But again, man, like you mentioned, it's all up to Ross. And I just don't trust Ross. I don't trust Ross to make the right decisions for us, man. I really don't. You're right.
No, and it's strictly unfortunate. And there were some reports coming out, this past week that no matter what happened in Buffalo, that McDaniel's job was going to be safe. And there's a lot of reports that he really likes McDaniel. He wants it to work. And the fact that we're hearing those type of reports, I'm more than solidified that Greer has no say in these decisions. I think it's all Ross. So, and you could just tell Ross has this weird infatuation with Mike McDaniel that I really don't understand. And I think as long, like, if this team goes 0-17 or maybe wins 1 or 2 games, I think he'll get force handed to do it. But as long as this team puts up maybe a handful of wins, maybe like 5-6, I'm now expecting McDaniel to still be here. I mean, he got that extension last year. It just seems to me that Ross, it's just, it is what it is. This is what this team is. I trust these guys. I don't know. You can't tell me he's focused on putting a winning product on the field right now. You just can't. So especially Super Bowl windows in the NFL don't last too long. You have to be aggressive. You have to constantly better the team. And in 2023, there was no urgency to counter your interdivisions moves. Like the Bills and Jets were making moves. You were staying put. You had guys getting down to injury. You refused to trade at the deadline. Like you refused to bring in help, and you needed it most when you were at the playoff run. So this I have no faith in this front office to build a sustainable product. It's just it's absolutely not even a debate for me.
Yeah. Dude, I'm with you, bro. It's sad, dude. Like hearing you talk about it, it's like exactly what's been going through my head over the last couple days, man. And it's like you don't want to be a downer, bro. Like who the hell wants to be a downer? Who wants to shit on the Dolphins? We don't believe me and Jacoby want to root for this damn team having success, but we're just calling it for what it is, man. It fucking sucks. It really sucks.
I've loved this team my whole life. When I was in high school and I was in grade school, like even teachers made fun of me for loving the Dolphins, man. Like I will bleed this team my whole life. And it's just at a point I'm like, aren't you guys sick of it? Like I've had, because I'm in my mid-20s. I've had 2 to 3 like very fun seasons I can remember, it sucks. So like, yeah, I'm mad and I hold this team to a bigger standard. I want to enjoy like 2023 was the most fun I ever had as a Dolphins fan. And the reason why I get so pissed off is like, I want those feelings back, man. It was the most fun I ever had. I'm like, oh, we paid our dues. It's finally time. And yet the front office fails to capitalize on that success. So
yeah,
that's why I really hold this team to a huge standard in terms of, what they're doing to better the organization. So
then dude, I'm with you, man. And it takes me back, man. I mean, I'm 31, bro, and I've haven't witnessed a Dolphins playoff win in my whole life. Like I was too young when they actually did it. I did remember watching them in the playoffs, but they lost to the Ravens. Then the second time they made it to the playoffs, I went to the game, which was with Adam Gase, that Jay Ajayi season. We had Matt Moore against the Steelers. We got waxed in that game. That season was cool though. But that 2023 season a couple years ago, I mean, dude, we were on top, bro. We were so up, man. Like, and it sucks.
I was at week 1 in LA when Tua threw for 400 yards and Tyreek had 200 yards. Man, I was crying in my seat. I'm like, it's finally time. It's here. Like this team is finally good. Like, and like and being with all the Dolphins fans in LA, like we took over that stadium. I'm like, I've dreamt for times like this. Like that season you just mentioned, I was still in high school. I couldn't really go to games, man. So like, I'm in a season where they're good and I can go and travel and see this team. And that's what's heartbreaking about it. And I'm at the point now, I'm just like I can't support this regime. Like it's insane.
It's sad. It's crazy, man. Like the fact that I had more fun with that shitty Brian Flores team that had Fitzpatrick out there and Josh Rosen and that mess, bro. Like these undrafted guys, like at least we knew we were like rebuilding and we were just seeing guys like just play hard and like you saw the vision. But the fact that have all this money going out to these people and you suck like that's worse, bro.
You can say whatever you want about Brian Flores, but that 2020 Brian Flores team had blood on their mind every single game. That defense was a top 5 defense in the NFL. They were out for heads. That was the culture Miami needed with this core. Like I said, you can say whatever you want about Brian Flores. I have my opinions. And, it's not a coincidence that the difference makers that the Miami Dolphins had under Brian Flores stick up for him rather than the ones who are not making a difference for Miami that are still on the team are the ones that are against him. That's not a coincidence. Andrew Van Ginkel, that's a prime example right there. He loves Brian Flores, and he was one of those X factors on the defense for us in his time in Miami. Yep. You Fins fans need to open your eyes. He made Tua cry. Well, Tua's soft mentally, and exactly. I don't give a crap about that excuse. Some of you Fins fans need to open your eyes. Like, yeah, Brian Flores wasn't the best in terms of management with his coordinators and stuff like that, but you can't deny that he had an established, effective culture in Miami that they desperately need back.
Yeah, and I feel like the more I look at it, bro, looking at it now, it's like this is Chris Greer. Brian Flores was a Chris Greer decision, and Mike McDaniel was a Ross decision. Like there's no other way. Like, it has to
Yeah,
be. That's
I
it.
couldn't agree more.
Let's flip the page, man. Let's talk about Dolphins taking on another team that is winless, the New York freaking Jets on Monday Night Football, man. So you got this matchup. Surprising news that Darren Waller finally is expected to play in this game, barring a setback, which honestly probably will happen. But thoughts on his potential impact? Does he change this team? Does he make it better? What do you see?
I don't think he will affect anything in the game plan. The fact that he's going to be on a limit. I'm like, I expect this guy to play like 3 to 5 plays max. Come on, Mike McDaniel. Anybody who is on the injury list or has an injury, he's going to treat them like a 3-year-old. He's not going to play them much. The page has been flipped on Darren Waller for me ever since they brought him to Miami. I'm like, okay, this is going to be an exact repeat of Odell Beckham. I'm not falling for this crap. He's been out of the league for 2 years, and granted, out of the league for 2 years. He was with the New York damn Giants, man. Like no offense to, I know we have a Giants fan in here, but I'm like, he was from what I remember, he was a mess over there too. So I'm like, I'm not looking forward to Waller at all. I don't think he's going to make any difference for this team at all. So.
I mean, he's the guy that got pissed off because the Giants told him to block. I mean, like, I'm sorry. Like, you're a football player, bro. Like, just do what the hell they wanted you to do. Like, damn, you're getting paid good money. Like, Jesus. But Darren Waller, I'm not expecting him to have a big game. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near what Jonnu Smith was for Tua. Tua throws to 4 guys on this offense, and I don't think that's going to change in B5 now. He throws to Achane, Hill, Waddle, and Malik Washington, and that is it. It is a steady rotation of 4 guys. No Westbrook.
It's the first one who's open.
Yeah, exactly. No Westbrook Akine, no, and anybody else. Like, I doubt that at this point, the way Tua is playing, where he needs to go to his guys that he trusts more, if anything, he's going to even try to mess around here with Darren Waller. So honestly, I wouldn't get my hopes up for that, man. But you're taking on a Jets team, man. What are your thoughts on this New York Jets football team?
I think this Jets team is getting too much hate, especially from Fins fans. I don't think their record fully explains the type of performances they've been putting up. They put up past 25 points in 2 of their 3 games. They played the Bills in the second game, lost Justin Fields in that one. So I mean, I think this Jets team is definitely talented. I think they're capable of putting up points, and I think Aaron Glenn's got them playing really hard over there. But I don't think Miami is the type of team that can overlook any team, and I'm sure they're overlooking the Jets. I mean, I don't doubt that at all. But I think this Jets team still has a lot of holes, still has a lot of growing to do. But I don't think they're as bad as people are making them seem.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. They're 0-3, but to be honest, they're in a position that I'd rather be in this position than the Dolphins, to be honest with you. You got a new head coach in there in Aaron Glenn. All right. Has this team playing hard, physical football, right? He's talking about discipline. He's holding players accountable. I mean, Xavier Gibson is a guy who they were high on. This guy muffed a kick, cost them the football game. And Aaron Glenn said, we're not going to tolerate anybody who loses us the football game with penalties. And the next day, that guy was cut. I mean, standing on business. That's how you establish culture, man. And what else is he doing? He has a nice offensive line that he's been building, young offensive line. He has a running game, and he's really trying to implement that like Dan Campbell style of we're going to be tough. We're going to have a good D-line, a good O-line, a good running game, and we're going to play physical and hold people accountable. I like that recipe. But obviously, when you're taking control of the New York Jets, they already have a lot of holes. So it's going to take some time. But at least they're headed in a direction that everybody can see, as opposed to Miami, where we're just wasting time here, delaying the inevitable. So I think this New York Jets football team has talent. They're still young. They're still putting the pieces together. But, I mean, they lost. They're 0-3, but they played 3 playoff teams, 3 teams that played in the playoffs, just a season ago, in the Steelers, Buccaneers, and the Buffalo Bills. But
and they lost by 2 points to the Steelers and Buccaneers. The Bills gave them a pretty good ass kicking, but they were in every single game. And honestly, I don't even think they should have lost that Steelers game. So I mean, it was Yeah, like I said, Finns fans are like, oh, at least we're not the Jets. The Jets are still a disaster, man. You need to open your eyes and see this. They're competing. They are playing, and they are in every game. You know, Miami hasn't, in my opinion, felt comfortable in any game yet. So
yeah, and they're not throwing money to guys that aren't gonna be part of a core. They're throwing money at Sauce Gardner, who's a good foundational piece. They're throwing money at Garrett Wilson, Quinnen Williams, like all foundational pieces. They're not wasting like the 54 mil that we're wasting on Tua right now, to be honest. And then the money that we have attached to a Mike McDaniel, where we're just sitting here doing anything. So to be honest, man, I give much more credit to the Jets than a lot of the Dolphins fan base, just like you, man, to be honest.
Yep. And that's just half this fan base is in denial about the current state of the Miami Dolphins, or they haven't been here as long as us, where they're like, this failure and like low esteemed group of the Dolphins have on the field, like, oh, this is kind of new. Like, no, this has been the product we've had for almost 2 decades. So, like, it's just, some of these fans are just never going to learn. There's nothing wrong with supporting your team till the end. That's what I'm going to do. I'm never going to leave this team's side, but there's also nothing wrong with holding this team accountable. So
yeah, and
I don't know. I'm excited though for this game. Bring out the new uniforms, bring them out. I'm excited for them.
And to be honest, the way we feel about the Jets, that's like, regardless of us winning this football game, it's just the fact that where the Jets stand versus where the Dolphins stand at this very point in time. It's like, you got to give credit there.
Absolutely.
So the New York Jets have Justin Fields in concussion protocol. He missed the last game. He's questionable as of right now. I wanted to see if there was an injury report, but I guess those are going to start flying out tomorrow where we get more clarity. But I'm under the impression Tyrod Taylor is going to be the quarterback. What worries you the most about this matchup?
To be honest, like, having Tyrod Taylor quarterback doesn't really worry me. It's just, I think, being able to contain Garrett Wilson, this secondary still doesn't really have any faith from me of being able to contain, elite wide receivers. And I think Garrett Wilson's going to be the best receiver you're going to be going up against so far. So that's pretty much what this matchup hears me. And, Tyrod Taylor is going to take shots. He's still has a little bit of a rushing ability. So I just hope this defense can build on the momentum that they had in Buffalo and, be able to make plays when it matters. But, this, like I said, this is going to be the toughest wide receiver you're going to go up against so far this season. And you haven't been able to stop anything. So we'll see. But a lot of things a lot of things scare me about this matchup, but it's mainly on the defensive side.
No, I didn't even think about that, bro. You're right, because you week 1 you faced Michael Pittman. That's your best.
Granted, who's still a great wide receiver, but he's definitely not the same guy he's been the last couple of years. But Garrett Wilson is a fresh elite wide receiver. So
yeah, because we faced Pittman, Shakir / Keon Coleman, and who's the other? And then what?
I don't even know the Patriots number 1.
Stephon Diggs. It's like
Diggs. There you go.
But now you're right. This is probably their best matchup here for a defense that, has been giving up passing yards left and right. So that's actually something that worries me. What worries me the most is that, this Jets defense, man, has been a top 5 defense the last couple of seasons, but this year in particular, ironically so, with Aaron Glenn, who's a defensive minded guy, they're playing absolutely terrible on the defensive side of the football, which is crazy, man. Like, this team has given up a ton of points. Over what I think like 230 pieces the first 2 weeks, and then giving up, a lot of points to the Buccaneers just the week before. And I just feel like what worries me is, like, this might be the game where the Jets actually get the things right on the defensive end and flip that switch to the defense.
Dude,
a couple weeks ago.
It's their get right game, which Miami is always for everybody. So like that makes perfect sense, bro. It comes at the perfect time. This is their get right game, get their first win of the season, and they'll be just fine, man. I don't think you're off the boat there at all, man. Like, it just makes perfect sense. That's Miami's luck all the time. So.
Listen, and it's in Dolphin fans are always, talking crap about the Jets, but the Jets got some ballers, man. Like, Will McDonald is a baller. Like, Quincy Williams, he's going to be out this game, but he's a baller. Quinnen Williams in the front, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson. Like, they got some dogs on the defensive end, and I mean, they can get you, especially with a depleted offensive line. So
Yeah, I am excited for it though. There is always a lot of fireworks between Dolphins and Jets, and I still have a bad taste in my mouth from the last game of the season last year against New York. So, no matter how bad the season is, I'm always down for a rivalry game. You're going to be at home with the uniform color that I've been wanting for years. So I'm excited. Like no matter what, it's going to be a fun game.
here's a note. I believe I heard this today that the Jets haven't beat the Dolphins in Miami since that Geno Smith game to kick them out of the playoffs way so many years ago when we had like Lamar Miller and stuff like that, which is a long time ago. Geno Smith on the Jets.
That doesn't feel real to me.
It doesn't either, right?
I swear they've beaten us at home.
So have I, but I heard that today. I don't know if that's true, but I heard it and I'm like, damn it, no way. I feel like they have. I know they beat us at MetLife.
Yeah.
But I'm like, damn,
now I'm thinking back to like all these games. Like
I was doing the same thing and I couldn't think of one. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy.
Because I know they've gotten us in MetLife quite a bit the last few years, actually.
Where we used to own them at MetLife like all the time. That MetLife takeover was like back with Cam Wake. We used to just run up on them boys, and then ironically,
I think that is true, honestly, because I just thought back to the Jay Cutler season.
Yeah, we had a nail biter in there.
Matt Moore came in a comeback. I remember that game, and then the year before was the playoff appearance, and they beat him on the punt return.
Yep.
I think Jakeem Grant.
Then
so and then the year before was Lamar Miller. No, probably about 2 years ago. Anyways, but yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Yep. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. So, but then again, the Dolphins were also a team that never lost the opening game with Mike McDaniel, and they did. So this might be the one where they just do it.
Definitely. Tua was undefeated against New England. So.
Yeah, come on now. You see what I mean? Like this is the year to just exactly. All right, 3 keys to the game, man. For the Dolphins to win this football game, what are your 3 keys?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go on the assumption that Fields is gonna play. It's got a little bit of a more extra day to prepare, so I'm gonna make my keys based off that. But you got to contain Fields' ability to run. Mobile quarterbacks is Miami's weakness, has been for years. And I think Fields can beat this team with his legs for sure. I definitely don't have trust in the linebackers to catch up to him. You have to force a defensive turnover. This is my second key. You have to force a defensive turnover. You're the only team that hasn't gotten one yet. So you have to create turnovers to get this Jets team off the field and get offense all the momentum you need, especially in a primetime atmosphere. And also continue to ride the hot hand. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle have been in a rhythm. Devon Achane with 2 straight weeks over 25. I was getting into my fantasy mode there, but he's scored in the last in the 2 games of the season. So just continue riding the hot hand. Do what continues to work. Ollie Gordon finally got in the game in Buffalo and was utilized in the correct way. You got to ride the hot hand, and you're going to be just fine. So, but I think my main key on there out of the 3 is you got to create turnovers. The defense needs to come out and make a statement desperately.
Dude, you're freaking right, man. 0 takeaways in 3 games, bro. 0. Like 0. Damn, man. Like, come on. Not even a fumble. Like, do something, man. Like,
exactly.
Jesus. Ironically, the Jets haven't had a takeaway as well, which is kind of crazy.
That is actually crazy. But the main thing I'm excited is these uniforms, dude. I know I've said it 3 times. I'm so pumped for these. I've wanted this color scheme for years. And when they were teasing it, I'm like, I know exactly what they're going to bring out. And of course, they're going to bring them out in the year they're going to suck. So I'm so excited to see these uniforms, man. And I need to get myself one without one of these players on it. So I can have it for at least myself, dude.
You're gonna have to get your own name in the back of that.
Yeah, I think I will, because I've wanted this color scheme for years, dude.
I feel you, man. I feel you. It's crazy. They should have came out with these during the rebuild, man.
Dude, these uniforms in 2023. Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah, that would have been sick. They would have done a lot They would have made a lot of money doing it back then.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, it's crazy that you say that about Justin Fields. I feel the same way. We had a comment saying that Fields is awful. We would have a chance. To be honest,
Disrespectful. I
I
love Fields.
listen. I pivot from that, man. I think Justin Fields would absolutely torch us with his legs, bro. To be honest with you, this guy
He already set the record against us in Chicago.
Yep, he ran for like over 100 yards against a Mike McDaniel coach team, where Mike McDaniel's telling him to cut it out like a softie that he is, and it's just like, no, please. We have a better chance facing Tyrod Taylor. So my 3 keys for the Dolphins to win this game is, I mentioned that the New York Jets have a nice offensive line, but they are a young offensive line that's been giving up a lot of pressure. So this is time that I'm calling out the defensive line for the Miami Dolphins that we've been talking about. Attack this young offensive line and get home on sacks. I'm sick of pressure and you're almost there and this and that. Like, get home. Jalen Phillips, I'm calling you out. Bradley Chubb has 3 sacks. I'm all right. Like, Jalen Phillips, what are you going to do, my guy? Like, come on now. Like, show me something. I want to hear your name being called. And Chop Robinson as well. You finished the year nice last year, but I have not heard your name at all. I've heard it one time. Cool, but you could be better than that. You're at home here. You're 0-3. Like, this is where you need your most important guys to show up. You should have done it last week, but now show up this week at home. Jalen Phillips, you need to have a game. My second key is Tua, turnover-free football game. I hate that I have to say don't turn the ball over. One, sometimes I say, I could give you a pass on one, but at this point, at the rate you've been turning the ball over, I need a turnover-free game. Like, that's
even if he creates it and the play is called back, it will still count.
Yes, exactly, bro. Like, I want that. I want a clean Tua game, like a clean one. I need to see that. I want to see what that looks like, because honestly, the way I think about you right now is insane, bro. Like, I think you're like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL at this point, from what I'm seeing.
I kind of forgot what clean football looks like, honestly.
I mean, my goodness, bro. Like, botching a snap, picking it up, interception, called back. I mean, he's getting some freebies out there too, bro. Like, the turnover, you're lucky that it should be double the amount that what you really have on the stat sheet. And then third is play calling. I think he has to have a nice balanced mix. I saw a lot of positive things in Buffalo where he was mixing up a lot of the things that I've been wanting to see, aka play action rollouts, Malik Washington getting more involved, running it on 3rd and 1 with Ollie Gordon multiple times, converting third down, sticking more to the run, and also feeding Tyreek Hill. I think they could have done a better job, but overall, I thought it was a nice balance and a nice mix. Every time the Dolphins scored the football, on those possessions, Mike McDaniel was in his bag from a play calling standpoint. He got away from it a little bit here and there, but when they scored, that's the recipe. Rollouts, throwing outside the numbers, mixing it up like that. That's what I want to see. Build off the positive things that you saw in Buffalo, and I think the Dolphins can win this football game.
Sounds about good. Sounds good.
The play calling, bro. I mean, you saw it. It was nice to see like some solid play calling on the drives that they scored.
It was, and not too much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they had a delay a game, did they? If I'm not getting the play in right, correct?
I can't remember, to be honest, at this point. But they were solid.
I wasn't going to bring this up because I thought it was maybe a little bit from left field, but I don't give a fuck. So I saw this on Twitter and I talked to it with somebody I know who was also a Fins fan. But they're like, do you think maybe the reason why Mike McDaniel doesn't get on his teammates for these delay of games is because he really is not a fluent speaker and his play calls are very, very long. So he's probably stuttering in between when he's calling these plays. And that is what creates the delay of games for Miami. I'm like, you know what? That is a genius fucking idea. I've never thought about that. And I'm like, that is probably why, because you hear this guy talk on the mic and I'm like, there's no way he's better on the football field. And he refuses to give up play calling duties. And I'm like, that is probably the most genius take I've ever heard. I'm like, that makes perfect sense why he doesn't crack down about it. He doesn't really elaborate. He doesn't really get to why this is a recurring issue. It's just straight up, he can't fucking put together a sentence in 45 seconds. So,
dude,
I thought that was like, I'm like, oh, there we go. That makes perfect
it's
sense.
crazy that you mentioned that because I actually told my uncle that like a couple weeks back, and we said it as a joke, to be honest. But then the more I think about it, and now that you're mentioning to that, it's like, damn, what if that is true? Because I don't even think it's Tua. I think Tua's usually the ones that you see him calling the timeout, and he's kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
I think it's Mike, just like,
And
bro,
he threw a
like, what are you
dig.
doing?
He threw a dig at the coaches after the New England
Exactly.
game about
They,
it. So
they
I'm like, yeah, I think we found this. I think we found the problem.
that right when Tua did that in that presser, that's what kind of made me think like, oh, that might be it.
Yeah,
And it makes sense, dude.
because
It's like,
he did say there's a certain time of the play clock that they lose contact with him.
yeah,
So that's probably where it's all scrounded, and then Mike's probably trying to finish the call by yelling at him. So I'm like,
dude, I wouldn't
I
be
don't know how
surprised.
this went under my nose for 3 years, bro. That makes perfect sense of
Yeah.
why this is a recurring issue.
And God forbid he just lets like somebody else call the plays.
And there's a damn reason why Shanahan didn't make him a play caller in San Francisco.
Hey now. Hey now. And Shanahan knows. He knows. He
Yeah.
knows his stuff, man. Well, those are our keys, man. Who do you think wins this game? And bonus if you want to give a score.
I came in here ready to pick the Jets, but I'm not gonna do it. I feel like there's no way this team could get any worse.
The no way.
They have to get a win this week. They fucking have to, because if they don't, I know we said this last week, but I'm like, okay, but you're losing to the Bills. If you lose to the Jets at home on prime time in a horrible fashion, it's gonna get ugly. So I'm gonna give the edge to the boys. I'm gonna say Miami takes this one 24-21 off a game-winning field goal.
I like that, man. I'm with you, bro.
And you know what? I don't want to give them too much praise. I'm gonna say the Jets fumble it on their last game-winning drive and hand Miami the win. Because I don't have confidence. I still feel like it could go either way, but I'm like, they have to win this week. They really do.
Yeah, to be honest, man, I'm with you, bro. I'm picking the boys to win this game. I think they're better than the Jets at this point. Like I said, I like where the Jets are better than the Dolphins from a rebuild standpoint, because they're kind of like they're a level ahead of us right now. We're just delaying the inevitable. But at this point, roster to roster, the Dolphins have a better football team. You're at home, and with that being said, you should be able to win this football game. Aaron Glenn is still implementing his new system onto this Jets football team. They're trying to shift the culture, but it's going to take some time. I don't think they're ready yet. They'll probably have a good game. I think this is going to be a super competitive game, to be honest with you. I think we're in for a treat. Plenty of people are talking about it like 2-0-3. This is going to suck. I don't think it's going to suck. I think it's going to be a nice competitive football game, like real talk. And I think the Dolphins, though, ultimately will win this one by a field goal 24-21. I'm with you, man.
All right, then we're on the same page for once this season, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, so let's bring it on to the fantasy football segment, man. How was your fantasy week, man? How's it going for you? I see you.
Dude,
I don't even think you won a game yet.
I can't catch a damn break in your league, bro. I put up 130 points the last 2 weeks and I lost both games, bro.
Yikes.
I can't catch a damn break. And I'm usually top 5 in your league every year. So this has been annoying as hell. I was down 10 points in the second half of the Sunday night football game with Kelsey and Buckner playing. I'm like, oh, I got this. They didn't touch the ball at all the rest of the second half. And that game was competitive too. Like, fuck, man. So it's been tough, but my other league, I'm 3-0 because come on now, I know my shit. So I've had better luck in that league. I'm 3-0 in my other league, so it's flip-flop, but I like this league better, and I feel like I'm gonna have an early exit this year for the first. I've known you for 4 years. I've been into the playoffs every year, so I think I'm gonna approach my first trip not to the playoffs.
Nah, I'm not ruling you out, bro. You're gonna be like the Undertaker, bro. You're just gonna come out of nowhere, start rattling off some dubs, man.
Dude, and like I don't usually do the super flexes where you could flex a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually do those leagues, so I've been flexing my other tight end, and I didn't start Montgomery this week, and he goes off for 30 points, so that costed me too. So it's been It's
He
been fun.
freaking snapped, and Montgomery is your guy too, so shame on
Yeah, I know. I've had him the last 3 years for
you.
sure.
All right, so
All
talk
right, but
to us,
yeah,
man.
let's go. Let's go on to my stardom situms for this week. I'm gonna pick the man who's having a quiet season in terms that he just doesn't talk, he doesn't open his mouth, and in my opinion, he's playing like an MVP level, and it's the man that Fins fans hate hearing his name, and that's Justin Herbert. I'm going to give him my first stardom of the week against the Giants. He's averaging a whopping 20 points a week, and he's the QB6 right now in PPR leagues. And the Giants are averaging 18 and a half points to quarterbacks right now. He's going to be my first stardom. Love what Herbert's doing over there in LA. It's been really fun to watch.
I like it.
Going to my second one, I'm going to go for the bounce back here. A very tough loss in Cleveland. Also lost my parlay, so fuck you. He's the QB 11, and he's going up against the last ranked defense against quarterbacks, mainly due to that week 2 game against the Giants, but he's going up against the Cowboys. Jordan Love, give me the bounce back. I love the matchup, and I just refuse to see him play that bad again. I think he's going to bounce back and be pretty efficient.
I agree. Prime time too.
Yeah, and going to my Siddums. I refuse to jump on this train. I know it's been 3 weeks, but I'm like, okay, maybe we got something here. But he's going up against a very talented Rams defense. He may be the quarterback 4, but I think this is going to be his first down week of the season. That's Daniel Jones. He's going to be my first sit-em. I think that Rams defense is really good. I know they blew the game to the Eagles, but I think they'll rattle Daniel Jones a little bit and get out of this little fantasy start we're seeing here. I'm not trying to throw shade to the man. I'm just like, okay, I refuse to believe the Giants were the problem for 3 years with him.
I agree.
So,
I'm with you.
yeah, so like I just no, I am not doing it. So yeah, that's gonna be my first sit-em, and then my second sit-em is gonna be the guy on the other side for the Jordan Love matchup, and that's Dak Prescott. Not the start of the season we've been loving. Only had 12 points in Chicago last week, off 40 attempts as well, which is pretty tough. And he's losing CD Lamb. So Dak Prescott's going to be my second sit-em. I think it makes the most sense with Green Bay being the second ranked defense against quarterbacks. So
no, I agree, bro. I knew you were going to go there with Dak.
yeah. And then going on to my running backs, pretty good week for running backs. This has been a fun start to the season, honestly. A lot of big scoring games for a lot of different players. But I'm going to ride the hot hand. I picked him as my first stardom last week against Miami, and I'm picking him again against the Saints, who were manhandled by Seattle. And I think the Bills are going to do the same thing and let him just get a lot of garbage time points, and that's James Cook. I think he's going to be the start of the week, and I wouldn't put past him to get multiple touchdowns like he did against the Jets.
Nice.
And then going on to LA, I'm going to give this man the start. I love his start against Denver this week on 19 attempts, had a touchdown, also 6 receptions. He's been a favorable target from Justin Herbert, and that's Omarion Hampton. He's right now he's the running back 21, but he's going to be seeing an increase in volume. And like I said, I think Herbert likes giving him the ball on the check down. So that's going to be my second stardom. He's got a really good matchup this week against the Giants, who are ranked 29th. So if you have him or if you picked him up recently, go ahead and give him the start. Love that start. Then this one kind of sucks for me going to my sit-ems. I have him in my other league, and I think I need to start finding a suitable replacement, because I think if this continues, he might not even make it through the whole season with the amount of volume that he's used to seeing. But that's Alvin Kamara. Even on 18 attempts against Seattle, he only put up 6 points, and Seattle put that game away in the first quarter. So I think he's going to get. I think there's going to be a similar result in Buffalo. So Alvin Kamara is going to be my first sit-em, and that's even on me. I think I'm going to sit him too. And that's my second sit-em, maybe the running back 1, but I don't like his matchup. The Rams are the first ranked defense against the run, and that's Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to give him his first sit of the year. I would have said start him in every one of the games of the first 3 weeks, but I'm going to say sit him this week.
I'm with you, bro. I think the Rams are, coming for blood this week against the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to shut them down. I think they're pissed off with the way that game ended. We're right here having a different conversation if they held on and beat the Eagles. I mean, at 3-0, beating the Eagles, you can argue they're the best team in the NFC at this point. And the fact that it just changed, I think the Rams are coming in pissed off, and they're going to shut down the Colts.
Absolutely. And now Moving on to my wide receivers, this man, what a week he had against the Saints. And I think his projection went up quite a bit. He's now projected almost 18 points in my league, and he's going up against a defense that averages 36.5 points to wide receivers right now. And that is JSN, Jackson Smith Njigba. I think he is going to have the best start out of the wide receivers for me. Love the matchup against the Cardinals, and he plays tomorrow night. Can't wait to watch it. He is finally blossoming with the departure of DK Metcalf. So I am so excited for his production. And if you have him in your league, you drafted smart, because he was on my board pretty high. So JSN for the first start. And then now going on to my second start, he's going to be seeing an increase in targets, and I think they're going to be down in this game a lot. So I think Dak's going to go to him pretty well with CeeDee Lamb's injury, and that's George Pickens, wide receiver 20 right now with CeeDee Lamb playing. Was able to get 5 receptions on 9 targets and still put up 17 points with a touchdown. So I think George Pickens, even though he's going up against good defense, I think the Cowboys are going to be passing a lot that game. So that's my favorite start him for that team. So George Pickens, start him if you had him for sure.
I like that. They're going to be playing from behind probably too, so a lot more opportunities there.
And now with my sit-ems, honestly, if you feel like upset about having to sit this guy, you probably drafted him way too early, but they're going up in Buffalo, and the Saints, like I said, I like teams that can throw the ball all game long when they're losing a lot, but he hasn't had the start we kind of expected in the first 2 weeks. He's getting a handful of targets, but didn't really capitalize in the first 2 weeks, hasn't found the end zone yet. But I'm going to sit Chris Olave. I think Buffalo has a really good secondary defense, and they are ranked number 9 right now in terms of defensive to wide receivers. Don't like the start, really. I think Buffalo just shuts down any inferior opponent to them. So it's going to be a tough one for me to start Olave if you have better options. And now to my second one, another owner of me. I have this guy in your league. I am officially in panic mode for this guy, Brian Thomas. He is the wide receiver 54. And I drafted him in the second round in this league, and he hasn't amassed 9 points in the year so far. He has gotten 7 targets, 12 targets, 6 targets in the first 3 weeks. And so out of that is what, about 23 targets, I think. And how many receptions does he have? 7. So it's been a really, really abysmal start for him. And I'm officially in panic mode going up against San Francisco. Because San Francisco has this cupcake schedule that I can't freaking stand. They should be 1-2 right now. So yeah, it's going to be, like I said, I'm in panic mode right now. If you can find different options, or if you can sell him for any value, if there's anyone in your league that thinks he's going to bounce back, I'd probably look for a suitable replacement, because I don't know what to do with him right now.
Dude, you're right on the money. And we talked about last week not panicking yet, but I guess you're at that point. And I watched that whole game for the Jaguars. Dude, yeah. He's dropping balls left and right. He's been doing it all year. Like, Lawrence is looking to give him the football, and he's making these weird mistakes. It's just so unlikely to see from him. And then his 2 positive plays this year was 1 reception for a touchdown on week 1. It's like you got lucky that you had that. And then this last week, he got 1 catch that was like 49 yards, and that was it. That was 1 catch that got the bulk of his yardage. It's like, dude, he's really bad. Really.
Yeah, it's terrible. And I don't know if it's the new system or it's Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. But like you said, he's dropped a lot of passes. So like I said, I'm in panic mode. So if you could sit him, do it.
So. Listen, and the new offense is complex. Where Liam Cohen, I've watched all the 3 Jaguar games. They're doing a lot of motion stuff, and they're not really used to that because they haven't really played much motion before Liam Cohen. But Brian Thomas is having the ball in his hands and he's dropping it. That's a problem.
That is a problem. Just like Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Identical. Crazy.
Going on to my tight ends. This guy has amassed, as the tight end 1 through the first 3 weeks, 14 targets for 13 receptions against Chicago. Jake Ferguson, my first start of the year. My first start of the year for him. He's going up against Green Bay's defense that are allowing 16 points to tight ends, ranked 27th. Give me Jake Ferguson in my starting lineup. And this man over in Cleveland has been a disappointment for me, and I need to get him the hype he needs or something, because I need him to put up points, and that's David Njoku. He's going up against Detroit, who's ranked 28th as well. They're right behind Green Bay in terms of defense. I need him to have a big week. And you know what? I'm calling it this week. You got a great matchup. Go give me more than 12 points. I need it. So give me him as my start.
Go and
And then going on to my sit-ems, I'm going to go with here a good matchup over in Kansas City this week. Chiefs and Ravens, really ready for that game. And I'm giving Mark Andrews the sit. The Kansas City is averaging only 6 points to tight ends, which is crazy. They're ranked third, and he has been the tight end 10 so far. Only had one huge game, and that was last week, because he had a couple of touchdowns. But I'm going to take Kansas City to lock him up pretty good. And I'm going to say sit Mark Andrews for sure.
Okay.
And my last sit-em of the week, like I said, tight end's been a little weird this year, but I'm going to give him I'm going to give this guy a sit-em. He is the tight end 21, averaging 10.8 points. Had a solid game because he only found the end zone against the Rams, so he's only getting 2 targets. He only got 2 targets that game, and he's going up against Tampa Bay for the Eagles, who are ranked 6th against tight ends, and that is Dallas Goedert. Give me another sit for him. And that's going to wrap up my fantasy segment this week. I really hope I find my first win of the year in your league. But let's just keep the train rolling. And I hope that helps you guys out this week for sure.
Let's do it. So we have one question. If you have any extra questions, write them in the chat now before we get on out of here. The one question I saw is here. It's from Donovan. He says, would you trade Judkins and Ridley for Ted McMillan and Pittman? This is actually an interesting one.
Yeah, Pittman is finally getting high. I took him really late. I've been a Pittman guy for a few years, and if Daniel Jones can stay on this trajectory, he's going to be a steal. McMillan, it's up in the air. It's just that Carolina team is just really up in the air for me. But Ridley, I would start being a bit in panic mode for Ridley as well. Ward has just not really been going to him as much as we really thought. So you know what? I'll take that. I like that risk. I would do it.
Me too. Me too. Judkins did have a nice game. His debut again with the Browns against the Packers. He did score. He looked really good, super aggressive. But Ridley, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I don't like the connection between him and Ward, to be honest. I trust more Bryce Young and Ted McMillan's connection. So I would shoot my shot on that, man, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Let's see
what else we got. Yeah, I would do it. If you want my honest opinion, I would do it.
All right, second one. Would you go ahead and start Xavier Worthy on his first game back if he were to play this weekend against the Ravens?
No, I wouldn't do it yet. Just come back from injury. I don't trust anything on this Kansas City team right now. I just wouldn't do it yet.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the Ravens.
If you don't have any other better options, then go for it. But if you have better options, then no.
The Ravens, I mean, are terrible, on defense. So they could definitely, Worthy could go crazy. But it's like I kind of need to see his health, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
So he is playing that game, but to me, it's like that's a guy that could pop off. But I don't know if I'm like super comfortable. Like it's like I want to see how well he's recovered.
Yeah, exactly. And he just said in here in the comments he's going to go for Njoku. Yeah, of course, because I'm playing him, and Njoku is my tight end in my other league. This has been the luck I've had with your league, dude. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown in my other league, and I played him in your league when he put up 37 points. I'm like, bro, this luck has been annoying. Like
that's the problem when you get multiple leagues. Is like you end up rooting for people that you're also playing against with another one.
But this has been, I've never had this kind of luck, dude. Like each week I played against someone I have in my other league and they go absolutely off, bro. I'm like, oh gosh, bro. It makes perfect sense how I'm flip-flopped like 0-3 and 3-0. So
last question. This one's from me. I made this move because I'm desperate. Right. I picked up Jackson Dart, bro. So is there any fantasy value in your opinion?
No, not really. Because who's to say it's gonna even last? That quarterback room is so juggling right now. They got 3 guys over there, and you have Kyler Murray, right?
No, you took Kyler from me.
Wait, no, yeah, that's my
who's your quarterback? Dude, I'm mixing and mad. Justin Fields, he got concussed. I have Dak Prescott. Yeah. He lost CD. I'm picking up
that's true.
Jackson Dart to see if he pops. And I'm also streaming this week Geno Smith only, bro. I got 4 quarterbacks in my roster. It's disgusting, bro. Who wants
Out
the
of those
job?
quarterbacks, yeah, I'm not taking Darnold over any of those guys. I would run my luck with Dak or
Or Gino, bro, which is
run my luck with
crazy.
Fields and hope he gets a couple of rushing touchdowns against us. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't. No, not with
If
Dart. I just can't do it.
if Fields is starting, bro, I'm putting him in, man. But
Yeah, I would too.
I took Dart just to see because I know he can run as well, just in case. You never know. And my team is like, I'm in need of any spark. I got Marvin Harrison. It's just I'm barely 2-1. I'm not liking my team at all. Pacheco's on my team. He sucks. It's just a mess. It is an absolute mess. But this is going to wrap up the show. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, hit the thumbs up button. Please give Jacoby a follow on Twitter. And we will be right here next week to see if the Dolphins finally are in the win column. Catch you guys next time.